time. It does. Why? You're still holding it. Just because you're not thinking of it. So you see, then we've got a thing that we've got to have inner healing. Will inner healing shut off some of the things? It actually will. Now this will cause some questions for some people. So some of those chemistries, if your body is filled with something that's on your mind and it's really a situation that you think, I got to get away from it. Now, what does depression put into the bloodstream? It does. It puts something in there, whatever it is. So then they want to give you medication to counteract that. They're actually counteracting what's flowing in the mind and what's being produced by the body. And then it's into the blood. But see, if it gets into the blood, how long does it take? Because it's like this. Yesterday was my wife's birthday, and we went to have a meal. And my daughter-in-law ordered lamb chops. Got little lamb chops. I thought that sounds good. So I had lamb chops, roasted potatoes. Something else goes with it. So I ate that. Now, is that going to become part of my bloodstream? Yeah. But then over time, I'm going to eliminate that because it's physical and tangible. What do I do about what's not tangible? Something I can't touch. If it's still in my memory banks and it's still important to me and I'm still going through it, then I'm having this in my blood all the time, and then I want to get over it. But if it gets into the bloodstream and it's your own process, it can take up to 120 days to get it out. But that means if you're going to get it all out, you've got to stop the process and no more coming in, and eventually the body will be free of that, including the blood. Because the Bible says the life is in the... Is it in the blood? Isn't that what it says? And some of you say, well, I don't like that. Can't we just preach Jesus and we're all going to heaven? Yeah, you can. If you want to, you can. Well, that's not what I want to hear on Wednesday night. Take it up with Jesus, because that's what he wants. Now, why is this important? Because we're talking about inner healing. Will this eventually affect the physical body in other ways? It will. And then it becomes unexplainable. Because you really can't figure out what is actually causing this. So this has to do with healing. So is it okay to ask God not only to create a clean heart in you and to transform your mind, is it okay to ask that the negativity of what's in your body also be taken out? Can he do that? He can, but it needs to be done because it has to do with the memory and what the body does in relationship to it. My cousin had a real bad experience with a rooster. And basically what it was is a big Rhode Island red rooster, you know, with a big comb and big spurs. And we all thought the rooster was funny, but evidently my cousin didn't. So the rooster had a habit of positioning himself when he didn't seem to have anything to do. Position himself by the back door. Had a little ledge he'd set up there. But when you went by, he'd act like he was going to get you, but he didn't. But for some reason, he flapped his wings, and it scared my cousin really bad. And he got scared of it, and he hyperventilated, and the old rooster got him. But from that point, anything that flaps wings or flags or anything triggers this thing in him again, and it had been years. So does he hyperventilate? He can't breathe. That flag's waving or that bird's flapping his wings. You know, don't let the bird flap the wings. I can't take the wings. Did the rooster actually do anything to him physically? No. But now where does that come from? The memory, but why does he get that reaction for a couple of hours later? And why is his heart pounding? There wasn't any rooster. But anything flapping. Now, you get into that. Well, it is, but what does that? What causes the rest of the body to react? Just the thought? Yes. So then that goes to the body and he reacts again. So that's why it's in the bosom. That's why it's in the lap. It says it's there with you. And we're just talking about anger. So if you get into a rage and anger and you smash something and kick something and throw everything around, you can burn off some of it. But what if you get extremely angry and you're in a rage, but you're in a place where you can't say anything, can't do anything, and you just bury it? What happens? Is it going to be hard on your body? And how often will that come up again? And again, and again, and again. And the same thing going. So also part of healing is also healing the blood. But inner healing requires healing the brain, healing the heart, healing the spirit, that it's no longer an issue. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it does. Well, it's been trained. Well, it can, yes. Now, when certain things happen. And so inner healing's important there. Eventually, if you have too much of this, the body gets to where it doesn't take care of the things it normally would. Now, so now we start having problem with our organs. You say, well, Brother Bob, how do we purify the blood? Well, you can stop the process, and it'll be clear in 120 days. Well, I want it right now. But then sanctification is a process again. You've got to work through that process. You say, well, that isn't fun. Well, I'm sorry it isn't fun. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But it is that way. And so, now how about dread? How about dreading things? What do you dread? What's some of the things you dread? What is it? Okay. Well, I'm on the $30 thing. Get $30, that's it. I don't always get as much gas, but that's $30. Yeah, or drive less.